Welcome to Winning Paths, your gateway into the enthralling realm of archery. Dive deep into its theories, unravel its rich history, and bask in a wealth of experiences shared by us and our distinguished guests. This podcast is a treasure trove of all things archery, brought to life through engaging dialogues and insightful monologues. Proudly produced by the Irish Field Archery Monthly, Ireland's premier non-profit archery community magazine, our existence is a testament to the unwavering support and dedication of our listeners. If our content resonates with you, we warmly invite you to bolster our mission through a direct donation to our dedicated account. Find the link in our description. Our episodes are the culmination of thoughtful analysis, extensive research, academic endeavors, and the publication of articles and books on archery, both in Ireland and internationally. The core of our content is original, crafted from our intellectual endeavors, while any borrowed insights are duly credited, showcasing the cited authors and outlining our research methodology. Our commitment to you is unwavering, to deliver compelling, original content bi-weekly, free of charge, enriching your knowledge and passion for archery. Well, here we are again. Welcome, dear listeners. Today, we'll dive into the whimsical, the fantastical, and the downright ridiculous tales of yore. Today, we're setting our sights on a story that's less about hitting the mark and more about missing it entirely, much like our own attempts at love, archery, and making it through a Monday without caffeine. Picture it, the golden god Apollo, a celestial show-off with talents ranging from playing a mean lyre to shooting arrows with the precision of a surgeon after 5 espressos. He's got it all, except, of course, humility. Then there's Cupid, that cherubic troublemaker who looks like he belongs on a Valentine's Day card, but carries a quiver full of chaos. One day, Apollo, in a fit of divine arrogance, decides to belittle Cupid's archery skills. Bad move, Apollo. Very bad move. Cupid, not one to let an insult slide, grabs 2 arrows, one golden, one leaden, and takes aim. The golden one smacks Apollo right in his ego-inflated heart, making him fall head over heels for Daphne, a nymph who's as interested in romance as you are in reading the terms and conditions on a software update. The leaden arrow, meanwhile, ensures Daphne would rather binge-watch paint dry than deal with Apollo's advances. Cue the chase. Apollo, now a lovesick deity, chasing Daphne through the woods like a rejected contestant from The Bachelor, spouting poetic drivel and promises of eternal youth. Daphne, the OG forest feminist, is having none of it. A god you may be, but even gods can be nuisances. "Beat it, golden boy," she yells over her shoulder, darting through the trees with all the enthusiasm of someone avoiding a sales pitch at the mall. But here's where it gets good. Just as Apollo thinks he's about to catch his breath and his prize, Daphne pulls the ultimate escape move. She calls out to her river god dad for help, and bam! She's rooted to the spot, quite literally, transforming into a laurel tree. Apollo arrives just in time to see his would-be girlfriend turn into botanical scenery. Cue the divine facepalm. Not to be outdone by a mere tree, Apollo decides to make the best of a leafy situation. He declares the laurel tree sacred, vowing to wear its branches as a symbol of victory and poetic genius. Because why not? If you can't get the girl, you might as well accessorize, right? So next time you see a laurel wreath, remember this. It's not just a symbol of victory. It's a testament to a god's colossal ego, a nymph's legendary dodge, and a cosmic lesson in the importance of respecting personal boundaries. And if you think this tale is bizarre, just wait till we unpack more mythological misadventures. Until then, keep your arrows sharp and your wits sharper. Our tale begins with Apollo, the radiant god of many talents, music, poetry, the sun, and archery. Picture him, a golden-haired deity strutting about Olympus with the confidence of one who knows he's the finest of them all. And why wouldn't he? With feats like slaying the mighty Python and founding the oracle at Delphi, Apollo boasts more accolades than the greatest of heroes. But then, enter Cupid, the mischievous cherub with a face as sweet as an angel's, and a heart full of playful trickery. One day, Apollo, seeing Cupid with his tiny bow, can't help but boast. "What are you doing with such a grand weapon, little Cupid? Leave archery to the professionals, like me." Cupid, stung by the remark and always ready for mischief, decides to teach Apollo a lesson. With a grin that spells trouble, he draws 2 arrows, one of gold to kindle love, and one of lead to snuff it out. With expert precision, he shoots the golden arrow into Apollo's heart, making him fall hopelessly in love, and the leaden one into Daphne, a nymph with no interest in romance. Daphne, the spirited daughter of the river god Peneus, loves the wild woods and the thrill of the hunt. She shuns the very thought of marriage with a determination that could make even the most dedicated bachelor blush. Cupid's leaden arrow ensures that she views love with the enthusiasm one reserves for a tax audit. Now, imagine this. Apollo, struck by Cupid's golden arrow, sees Daphne and is instantly enchanted. He's like a lovesick youth, all awkward grace and overflowing with affection. He chases her with the fervor of a poet in love, but Daphne, struck by the leaden arrow, views him as nothing more than a bothersome suitor with an oversized ego. And so begins the chase. Apollo, driven by an insatiable love, pursues Daphne with a passion that would make Romeo seem indifferent. But Daphne, fleet-footed and resolute, flees from Apollo with all the speed and determination of a wild deer. "Oh, beautiful Daphne," cries Apollo, as he races after her, "why do you flee from me? I am no mere mortal, but a god, the god of music, the god of healing, the god of archery." Without breaking her stride, Daphne retorts, "A god you may be, but even gods can be nuisances. Leave me be, golden boy." The chase continues, a marathon of comedy, with Apollo pouring out his heart in poetic declarations, and Daphne deftly avoiding his advances. He promises her the world, riches, glory, eternal youth, but she counters with speed, agility, and a firm, "not in a million years." Through the forest they race, Apollo growing more desperate with each stride. Unaccustomed to rejection, the god finds his divine powers useless against Daphne's unwavering resolve. The climax of their tale, dear listeners, is a scene of transformation and heartbreak, but for now, let us revel in the humor and folly of a god's pursuit of love and a nymph's steadfast refusal. In the world of myths, even the mightiest can be humbled, and love, it seems, is a game of arrows and whims. Finally, seeing that he can't outrun her forever, Daphne makes a desperate plea to her father, the river god Peneus. "Father," she cries, "help me. Let the earth open up and swallow me, or transform my form that I may escape this relentless pursuer." Peneus, moved by his daughter's plight, obliges, and so, before Apollo's love-struck eyes, Daphne begins to change. Her feet take root in the soil, her limbs elongate and harden into branches, and her hair transforms into leaves. In moments, where once stood a beautiful nymph, there is now a laurel tree. Apollo, arriving just in time to witness this metamorphosis, is crestfallen. He reaches out, touching the leaves and branches that were once his beloved Daphne. The realization dawns upon him. His love has turned into an eternal monument to his own folly. But being the god of poetry and music, Apollo is nothing if not resourceful. He decides that if he can't have Daphne as his consort, he will immortalize her in another way. He takes a branch from the laurel tree, fashions it into a wreath, and places it upon his head. "You shall be my sacred tree," he declares. "Your leaves shall crown the victors and the poets. You will be honored forever, as I honor you now." And thus Daphne becomes the laurel tree, forever entwined with Apollo's legacy. The laurel wreath becomes a symbol of victory and poetic inspiration, a testament to the god's undying, albeit unreciprocated love. Imagine the forest scene now, Apollo leaning against the newly formed laurel tree, a picture of divine dejection, while the birds chirp sympathetically around him. It's a tableau worthy of a Shakespearean comedy, with just the right mix of humor and pathos. In the grand tapestry of mythology, the story of Apollo and Daphne stands out for its humor, its pathos, and its enduring symbolism. The next time you see a laurel wreath, remember the lovesick god and the fleet-footed nymph. Their tale, woven with wit and whimsy, is a reminder that love, in all its forms, is a force of nature that even the mightiest gods cannot fully control. Apollo, in his relentless pursuit, learns a lesson that rings true even today, that love cannot be commanded or coerced, but must be freely given and received. Daphne, in her transformation, becomes a symbol of chastity and independence, a reminder that one's personal autonomy is worth any sacrifice, even that of physical form. Drawing parallels to modern archery, consider the skill and precision required in both the sport and in the pursuit of love. An archer must be patient, focused, and respectful of the target, just as a lover must approach the object of their affection with care, respect, and sincerity. In the same way that Apollo's hurried and forceful approach led to his failure, so too can a lack of patience and respect in modern pursuits lead to unfulfilled desires. In contemporary times, archery is often seen as a meditative practice, a way to find focus and balance. The archer stands still, breathes deeply, and releases the arrow in a controlled manner, embodying a calm precision that could have served Apollo well. In love, as in archery, success often comes from patience, respect for the process, and a clear aim. Furthermore, the laurel wreath, which became Apollo's symbol of poetic achievement, is still awarded today in various forms of competitions, from sports to academic achievements. It signifies not just victory, but a journey marked by dedication and effort, echoing the trials and tribulations Apollo faced in his pursuit of Daphne. The tale of Apollo and Daphne also reflects a deeper commentary on the nature of desire and transformation. Apollo's desire is pure and intense, but it is also selfish and unreflective. He sees Daphne as an object to be possessed rather than an individual with her own will. Daphne's transformation into a laurel tree, while tragic in one sense, is also a powerful act of self-preservation and defiance. She refuses to be owned or coerced, and in doing so, she transcends her mortal form. This myth invites us to reflect on our own desires and the ways in which we pursue them. Are we like Apollo, blindly chasing after what we want without considering the wishes and autonomy of others? Or can we learn to balance our desires with respect and understanding, recognizing the importance of mutual consent and autonomy? In today's world, where the dynamics of power and consent are constantly being re-examined, the story of Apollo and Daphne remains strikingly relevant. It serves as a reminder of the importance of respecting boundaries and understanding that true connection and love cannot be forced or taken, but must be given freely and reciprocally. Moreover, the myth underscores the idea of transformation as a response to overwhelming circumstances. Daphne's transformation into a laurel tree, though extreme, can be seen as a metaphor for the ways in which individuals can protect themselves from unwanted advances or pressures. It highlights the need for personal agency and the right to control one's own destiny. As we draw these lessons from the myth, it is worth noting the broader cultural significance of archery. Across various traditions, the bow and arrow have been symbols of both power and precision, tools for hunting and protection, and metaphors for focus and intention. In the context of Apollo and Daphne, the bow and arrow become instruments of fate, wielded by Cupid to alter destinies and shape the course of lives. In contemporary archery, we find a sport that demands discipline, concentration, and respect for both the target and the archer's own capabilities. It is a practice that fosters mindfulness and a deep connection to the present moment. These qualities are not only essential for hitting the bullseye, but also for navigating the complexities of human relationships. As we practice archery, whether in the literal sense or as a metaphor for our pursuits, let us strive to embody the virtues of patience, respect, and clear intention. Let us remember that true mastery comes not from force or haste, but from understanding, discipline, and a genuine respect for the process. In conclusion, the myth of Apollo and Daphne, with its humorous and poignant narrative, serves as a timeless reminder of the complexities of love and the virtues of patience and respect. Whether you are an archer aiming for the bullseye, a lover seeking the heart of another, or an individual striving for personal goals, The principles found in this myth can guide you towards a more thoughtful and fulfilling journey. And as you aim your arrows, may they be guided by wisdom, respect, and a touch of divine inspiration. As we leave the myth behind and step back into our modern world, let us carry with us the lessons of Apollo and Daphne. Let us remember that every pursuit, whether of love, achievement, or personal growth, requires more than just desire. It demands respect, patience, and a deep understanding of the nature of our targets. In this way, we honor the ancient wisdom of the myth while forging our own paths in the ever-unfolding story of life. Let me tell you a little story about Paddy O'Grady. Paddy was a man of the world, or at least his corner of Dublin, who fancied himself a bit of an archer. On a particularly foggy morning, after one too many pints the night before, Paddy stumbled into Phoenix Park, bow in hand, searching for something to shoot that wasn't a road sign or a passing seagull. Now, Paddy's eyesight wasn't what it used to be, and in his bleary-eyed state, he spotted what he thought was a nymph. "By the saints, I've found myself a real-life goddess," he declared to no one in particular. He drew his bow, aiming to impress. But as he released the arrow, the nymph turned out to be Mrs. Flanagan's prized rosebush. The arrow shot right through the blooms, and Paddy was left to face the wrath of a woman far more fearsome than any mythological creature. With that tale of modern mischief, let's delve into the ancient antics of Apollo and Daphne and see how the gods themselves fared in matters of love and archery. Apollo, the sun god, is a fascinating character who embodies many contradictions. He is both a bringer of light and a figure shrouded in complexity. His domains include healing and disease, music and poetry, prophecy and knowledge. This multifaceted nature makes Apollo a compelling figure, not only in mythology, but also as a symbol of human aspiration and fallibility. His obsession with Daphne reveals his vulnerability, showing that even a god can be brought low by love's capricious arrows. Think of life as a target range, with each goal a distant bullseye. We draw our bows, our hearts pounding with the thrill of the chase, but to hit the mark, we need patience, precision, and a clear aim. Apollo, bless his golden heart, missed the mark not because he lacked skill, but because he forgot to respect the target's autonomy. The enduring legacy of Apollo and Daphne lies in its rich symbolism and the universal truths it conveys. The myth has been retold and reinterpreted countless times, each version adding new layers of meaning. From Ovid's Metamorphoses to modern adaptations in literature and art, the story continues to captivate and inspire. In sculpture, Gian Lorenzo Bernini's masterpiece Apollo and Daphne captures the moment of transformation with stunning realism and emotional depth. The work is a testament to the enduring power of the myth and its ability to convey complex human emotions through art. In literature, the story has inspired poets and writers to explore themes of love, pursuit, and transformation. The laurel wreath, symbolizing victory and poetic achievement, remains a powerful icon in the world of arts and letters. In popular culture, the tale of Apollo and Daphne has found echoes in various forms of storytelling, from novels and movies to music and theater. The timeless themes of desire, resistance, and transformation continue to resonate with audiences, proving that ancient myths still hold relevance in our modern world. One might even say that Apollo and Daphne's tale is the ancient equivalent of a rom-com with a twist, a tale where the chase is literal, the stakes are divine, and the ending is anything but conventional. Their story, with all its humor and pathos, reminds us that love is as unpredictable and transformative as the arrows of Cupid. And that's a wrap on today's escapade into the land of divine comedy and romantic disasters. We've witnessed Apollo, the god with more talents than Tinder matches, get schooled by Cupid in the art of unrequited love. Daphne, the ultimate embodiment of "not today, golden boy," showed us all that sometimes the best way to deal with unwanted advances is to branch out, literally. As for our modern-day hero, Paddy O'Grady, let his tale be a reminder that whether you're dealing with divine deities or just Mrs. Flanagan's rosebush, aiming for love can lead to some thorny situations. Paddy's foggy-eyed misadventure is a cautionary tale that sometimes, In our quest for romantic glory, we might just end up pricking the wrong blooms. So, what's the moral of our mythological and modern misadventures? Maybe it's that even gods can't force love, no matter how many poetic lines they spew or laurels they promise. Or perhaps it's that sometimes, turning into a tree, or mistaking a rose bush for a nymph, is a perfectly valid response to a persistent suitor. As you navigate your own romantic misfires and life's little archery attempts, remember the tales of Apollo, Daphne, and Paddy O'Grady. They're reminders that grand gestures aren't always what win hearts, and sometimes the best way to win is to simply let go and leave it all behind. Or, at the very least, to aim a little more carefully. Until next time, keep dodging those metaphorical arrows, embrace your inner nymph or nymph hunter, and remember, love, like archery, is all about respect, patience, and maybe a bit of running through the woods when necessary. Stay mythically mischievous, folks, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Winning Paths.